There will be at least a couple more weeks of this lockdown. And in the spirit of that, I'd like you all to, first of all, go to free-ebooks.net and get an account. Sign up for an account. It's free. It's actually free. There's no credit card you have to put in. There's no free trial. It's just free. And you can have access to up to 5 ebooks per month, I think. And you can refer people to it and get more. Um, that's where my poetry books are. But it's also a source of a lot of interesting content that is produced by independent authors. Everything I have consulted has pointed me back to this fact that we need to return to reading. I don't know what else needs to be done, but we have to start reading more books. And if you want to know how to get through this, I suggest reading. When you read, there's an element of, there will be an element of resistance that your mind has because your mind is used to um, more stimulating, more immediate gratification type content. But we have to return to reading. This country used to be very literate. This country has a history of literacy going way back to the beginning of the country. Um, I think probably because of our roots in fundamentalist Christianity, Calvinism, Quakers, Puritans, Pilgrims, and then the beginning of the printing press, which the British allowed us to have as colonies. For some reason, they allowed that even before we were America. We were printing books. And that was probably a mistake on their part in terms of keeping us in line. But it's a good thing that they allowed that. There used to be days when Abraham Lincoln would lecture or Mark Twain would do lecture circuits. People would go to see. People would watch Abraham Lincoln debate other people for hours and hours, and then they take breaks for meals, and they leave, and they come back, and they need debate some more. But this was also somebody who did bare knuckle boxing. I don't know if you know that Abraham Lincoln did bare knuckle boxing, but he did all the way into his political career. He did that. Um, it's funny the way that people's images in history get skewed. Things aren't what they appear to be. In terms of the slaves, how did you know that you were a slave that was well taken care of, or that you were a privileged slave? You had an education. You knew how to read and write. Education has always been the privilege of the ruling class. It's not a curse to read a book, to have to read a book. We have to come back to reading. And you should check out my poetry books, but check out any books, you know. I'll just leave a link in the description to free ebooks. And all you have to do, I'll show you what to search. You just search my pen name, and you can see all the books come up that way. There's really like 6. I don't even know how many. I went through a run where I was publishing a bunch of them, and I have another one in the works. You might want to start publishing. You might want to start writing. Write about what you know. Share your knowledge. I know that literacy is, and reading and solitary reading is a huge part of the history of the United States. But it's not only about the United States, of course. It's about the world. But if the world embraced literacy and the freedom of the press, with the access that we have, who knows what could be possible. I know that these are difficult times. But what if we just activated our brains, and instead of stewing and worrying, we just activated it through reading? For the next 2 weeks, we just read and read and read and read books. Would you regret it? Would you, at the end of 2 weeks, feel like, you know what, I shouldn't have read all those books? I'm guessing not. Let's read together. Namaste.